Blueberries. Benefits, nutrition facts, and side effects. Blueberries, scientifically Vaccinium cyanococcus, are small, round berries renowned for their deep blue-purple hue and sweet, tangy taste. Categorized as superfoods, they are rich in antioxidants, particularly anthocyanins. Enjoyed fresh or added to various foods like cereals, yogurt, and baked goods. Blueberries are also used in jams, sauces, and desserts. Providing vitamins, such as vitamin C and vitamin K, minerals like manganese and dietary fiber, they offer both flavor and nutritional value. Beyond their deliciousness, blueberries are celebrated for potential health benefits, including brain health, disease risk reduction, and heart health improvement, making them a vital element of a balanced diet. Benefits. Antioxidant powerhouse. Blueberries are celebrated for their exceptional antioxidant content, particularly anthocyanins. These powerful compounds give blueberries their deep blue color and play a key role in neutralizing harmful free radicals in the body. Antioxidants are crucial for reducing oxidative stress, which is linked to aging, chronic diseases, and cellular damage. Brain health. Blueberries have gained attention for their potential cognitive benefits. Research suggests that regular consumption of blueberries may improve memory, enhance cognitive function, and even protect the brain against age-related decline. Anthocyanins and other bioactive compounds in blueberries are believed to support brain health by reducing inflammation and oxidative stress in the brain. Heart health. Blueberries contribute to cardiovascular well-being by promoting heart protective factors. The combination of fiber, antioxidants, and potassium in blueberries helps lower blood pressure, manage cholesterol levels, and improve blood vessel function. This trio of benefits reduces the risk of heart disease and supports overall heart health. Anti-inflammatory properties. The anthocyanins and other antioxidants present in blueberries have anti-inflammatory effects. Chronic inflammation is associated with various health conditions, including heart disease, diabetes, and certain cancers. Regular consumption of blueberries may help mitigate inflammation and its detrimental effects on health. Digestive health. Blueberries are a rich source of dietary fiber, which is essential for maintaining a healthy digestive system. Fiber supports regular bowel movements, prevents constipation, and fosters the growth of beneficial gut bacteria. This aids in digestion, supports gut health, and contributes to overall well-being. Vision health. The antioxidants found in blueberries, such as vitamin C and vitamin E, play a role in maintaining good vision. These antioxidants help protect the eyes from oxidative damage caused by exposure to light and environmental factors. Regular consumption of blueberries may contribute to reducing the risk of age-related eye disorders. Immune system support. Blueberries contain a notable amount of vitamin C, a powerful antioxidant that supports the immune system. Vitamin C enhances the body's defense mechanisms against infections, contributes to wound healing, and aids in the absorption of iron from plant-based sources. 1 cup, 148 grams of blueberries contains the following nutrients: calories, 85. Fat, 0 grams. Carbohydrates, 21.2 grams. Fiber, 4.4 grams. Sugar, 14.8 grams. Protein, 1 gram. Vitamin C, 24.5 milligrams, 30% of the daily value. Vitamin K, 29.5 micrograms, 37% of the daily value. Manganese, 0.2 milligrams, 10% of the daily value. Side effects. Gastrointestinal sensitivity. Blueberries might cause digestive discomfort, gas, or bloating in some individuals, particularly when consumed in large quantities or if they have a sensitive digestive system. Blood sugar impact. Despite their relatively low glycemic index, individuals with diabetes should monitor carbohydrate intake and blood sugar levels when consuming blueberries. Medication. Interaction. Blueberries might interact with specific medications, particularly those influenced by changes in vitamin K intake or blood sugar levels. Kidney stones. Like many fruits, blueberries contain oxalates, which can contribute to the formation of kidney stones in susceptible individuals. Moderation is advised for those prone to kidney stones. Stomach upset. Overconsumption of blueberries, especially on an empty stomach, might lead to stomach upset due to their natural acidity. Coloring of stool and urine. The pigments in blueberries can sometimes cause temporary changes in the color of stool and urine, which is harmless and normal. Blueberries are a delicious and nutritious fruit that can be enjoyed by people of all ages. They are a good source of antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals, and they have a variety of health benefits. If you are looking for a healthy and delicious snack, blueberries are a great option. While blueberries offer a plethora of health benefits, individual responses vary. For personalized guidance, especially if you have specific health concerns or dietary considerations, consulting a healthcare professional is recommended.